Hey guys, it's ViewMasters Reactions, and we're back with episode 19, Talks Machina. I just finished watching season 9 of My Little Pony. I've been reacting to it for 3 years. I just finished the entire series in full, and I had custom shirts made years ago. My brother did all the designs and stuff. Well, he took obviously the designs and then put ViewMasters in and did it up and had shirts made. This was probably like over 2 years ago. I feel like I might do something like this with Critical Role, where I'll incorporate something. I hadn't done it in a while. We started doing it with random shows that I was going with for a long time on YouTube. But a lot of the shows I was doing, by the time he would draw something up, it would like be over or something like that. Whereas My Little Pony and Adventure Time had their own shirts. So we'll see about that. But that's why I'm wearing this. I had just finished it. Besides that, we are going to have Travis and Matt Mercer join us. I just watched the first 11 minutes. It is the longest intro, I feel like, of Talks Machina because we go up until we see the introduction to episode 19 or the episode, whatever we're on. But they were given like lots of updates on like games and stuff about the comic books or the novels. They were talking a lot about art too. And Ninja Master and some other people in the live stream were commenting that I should start watching the art and looking at the art. So I don't know if that was a coincidence or if that has something to do with what is coming up, but they were talking a lot about the art and where you could go to see it. Either way, let's just jump in. We'll see what we got. I think it's about an hour still, maybe like a little less than an hour without the intro. And if you guys didn't watch the last one, we're going to do all the after hours for the episodes in 1 month at the end of the month. So this will be minus after hours. After hours will be done that way. You guys want to see more of what I do? Full unedited episodes, all the shows on the channel, seasons out of what you're seeing, hundreds of exclusives you'll only see on Patreon. The link is at the end. Dozens of shows you'll never see on YouTube. I just don't have time to edit it all. Doctor Who, Person of Interest, Battlestar. Go check it out. If not, jumping in. Episode 19, Talks Machina. The Gentleman's Path.
As always, we begin with some crit roll stats about this episode that come to us from our friends at Crit Roll Stats. Woo! Last time we had 2 player characters fight each other in the main game was Campaign 1, Episode 99, Grog and Lionel. That's when John Heater, came and was a guest star.
Is that Napoleon Dynamite? John Heater, I believe that's Napoleon Dynamite.
I don't want to spoil
so badly the entire time. Yep.
I don't want to spoil anything because I know there's a lot of people that are new and catching up on Campaign 1.
Oh, see, they're going to start watching out for that. I like it.
Right.
See that? That's good to know. That Brian is actually taking notice.
Spoiling
oh, that's nice. Look at that. I'm like a freaking beautiful being.
That was
of light.
Yeah, as far as guests go, John Heater's
I feel like the middle 20s is the best lighting.
Absolutely.
Yes.
The Mighty Nein has collectively earned over 6,250 gold in the 21 days since the campaign started.
Damn. Makes sense. Over 1,000 apiece.
Yeah. Or between each of you is about
actually
under 1,000 gold. Which is
under 1,000 apiece. I was going to say, counting Ashley.
Very dangerous, but rewarding.
Who obviously is part of us.
I think I misentered the amount of platinum in my category. I might have to check with Crit Roll Stats. There was a point where like we got a platinum.
A lot of platinum?
Yeah, and either I didn't divvy it up or I kept it all for myself because I was like, I got like 12 platinum.
You sold it for calf implants.
No.
Remember I said that Ford had a ridiculous amount of gold?
There's no calves in many faces.
I still got these chicken legs.
I'm not saying he intentionally did it, but there was a time where Ford was like, I got plenty. I got that. And I'm like, how does he have so
now,
much?
The party has given Pumat Soul 5,030 gold in the 12 days they've known him. 5,030.
Oh my God.
5,030 gold.
Out of his store, man.
So we've spent like 85, 90% of our gold at Pumat Souls. I mean, it makes sense. He's got the more expensive shit, and that's where we get all our
brand loyalty is really important to them.
Who else do we buy shit from, really? The library?
Yeah.
Or their local pop and pop and pop and pop and pop.
Oh, is that too loud, guys?
We're real happy to have their business.
Yes.
I just want to make sure it's not blowing.
And 650 gold of that 5,030 was for paper and ink.
Good Lord.
That's
Wizards, man.
Wizards.
I mean, hey, but if you look at it long term, they spend way more on weapons and stuff than Caleb does.
And it's
if you put it into perspective.
How's the Jester
Caleb's a cheap date.
Cube is
They gave him shit.
The accent is just so good.
Oh my God, what a
The problem
jab.
was in the moment, I wasn't expecting to
I
do
love
it.
how
And
Matt
for
is
some
great
reason
at
in my head,
everything.
I thought that was more of a Russian as opposed to
Now he's
like
a
sort of
little
Slavic.
under par on one, and you
so
give
I
him
was in the
shit
wrong track
forever.
for the accent, and by the time I realized it was already too late, so I just backed out. So like, I hope it comes along better the next time I'm forced to do it.
Yeah.
But now there's so much pressure
Next
on
time
that
I'm
moment
forced
that
to do it.
kind of just never gonna try it again.
I don't want to read too much into Cuba's horse's question, but you know, Laura will be taking some maternity leave at some point, and
you're
then
gonna
you
have
may
some time to practice.
Use her voice every once in a while. So I feel like you've got a little bit of time to practice.
That's if Jester survives.
Wow.
I love the way you're
I'm
thinking
so
right
glad
now.
we're getting dinner after this.
This
We're
is
in
not
so much trouble.
mean in any way, but I feel
We're
like
just
Matt
gonna
has
have the baby,
elfish
put it right on
ears.
the
Like the
table,
way
that's
his
gonna
hair
be
is with his
mini.
ears, I feel like he's got
Boss, like that
elvish
too.
features in real life. His nose too, the
Thanks,
way,
Draven.
I don't know, he's got like an elvish face.
Just pelting
It's
your
not a bad
newborn
thing.
with plastic.
Use the baby as the
geometrical
falcon.
dice.
Gotta tough him up
Falchion,
right
yeah.
out the gate.
I love it.
Yep.
I'm listening to Travis. I hear
Warm
him.
one on the back
Now
of the
I'm in
diaper.
trouble when we go to dinner. Like, I'm in trouble now, too. What did you say?
I was there, I heard it.
I would feel like
Just
Laura is the
dice
last person that would
belly.
be like that,
cock
and
in
if
the
she
belly
was, being a character like
Travis,
Jester, you have no room to
Katie
talk.
Nicholson wants to know, rather than smashing in faces, you have now become the face of the party. What mindset do you put yourself in to maintain that position?
Well, Katie Nicholson.
Good.
Here we go.
Well, Katie Nicholson.
There's a lot.
Cheers, everybody, by the
There's a lot
way.
more patience
My fellow
involved and
drinkers
words.
and... Oh,
Speaking words
God.
intelligently.
I didn't get my pipe.
There are times where I get slightly like stir crazy and I just want to go up and hit something, a la the old grog way.
Yeah.
But it's, I mean, it really is. It's fun. It's hard because I have to be. I feel like Ford is polite. Right?
Yes.
And uses.
I feel like grog
and tries to
is
be
a lot
like
of fun.
little not subservient,
Ford
I guess
is
submissive.
Okay.
To,
the guy
to
we
higher
look to.
powers and stuff, and the way that he approaches things. So it's a stretch, but you can also feel, and we said this like in the early episodes, you can feel your mind sort of.
See,
approaching
I'd want
a
to be
character in a new way, and those neural networks.
Ford-like
starting to
character
form,
with
and,
the
like, how
abilities
you
of
approach
Grog.
things, and it gets a little easier as you go. But as far as like being the face, I kind of waffle with that. I saw a lot of comments about that. I, of course, didn't know what it meant right off the bat because I think out of everybody, I know the least about D&D overall. I like to keep it that way because everything's a surprise.
Yeah.
I've said that before, and I think
Travis
he
wants to
said
be
that
innocent
before.
is
I'm
cute.
pretty sure Grog. Pretty sure Travis has said that.
That's a real
In
quote, but
others.
no.
Yep.
But I'm the same way. I want to know as little as possible,
I like
so
to
it's
see the rest of the group
a surprise.
kind of have their opportunities to do things. So I'm trying not to be too much of like the talker all the time, because if I take Sam's
See how their
roles
setup
out
is
of the
right there?
equation, I'm not going to have any fun.
I'm listening to
Yeah,
Travis.
that's true. That's true.
That's kind of how I want to have it
Oh, man.
over here, where
All I
there's
took
like
away from
two
that was
shells
Ford
and then like
is
a
a
banner
submissive.
right behind
Let me
me.
look
I'm
it
gonna
up on
try to
Tumblr
do
later.
something
Allison
similar.
is making plans, right?
Not that exactly,
Wiki,
but that
appropriately.
setup.
Talison's in the back going, time to gather my party.
Right.
Yeah.
Matt, Tomorrowland wants to know,
Like
what would have
Tomorrowland
happened
from
if
Disney.
Ford/Travis wasn't as lucky as he was and lost the gamble with the gentleman?
Ooh, I wondered that too.
What would have happened?
If he had lost the gamble, he would have taken all the money, and would have been appreciative that they were ballsy enough to go ahead and throw that much money into the ring. He wasn't going like I win, I help you. If you lose,
You're mine.
or if you win, I help you. If you lose, I will kill you or whatever. He's just like,
But
was
he said
curious to see
you're-
where it would go.
he said you're
and
mine.
How brazen you were to.
I'm pretty sure the
gamble,
gentleman
essentially, the head
said,
of this
if
underground
you lose
group.
your mind.
So
He was happy that he had the moxie.
yeah, it was a test. It was him basically just feeling them out, seeing how they adjusted.
I
when
agree
confronted him,
with everything they
to see
both
how they
did.
held their own,
I think that's how the
they
gentleman
listened,
would have behaved.
Everything with
and
him
Travis
is very
should've.
much a power dynamic game and trying to read whoever he's talking with. That's how he got where he is today. So like, so yeah, if they had lost, they would have lost a lot of money, and he would have been like, good job. So
Anyway,
See, that was one of those moments.
Either
where, like,
way,
Ford
we were
was
getting
very
the job.
careful and patient.
it
and
would
all
have just
those things.
cost us a
And I
lot.
was
We'd
like,
be
fuck it.
minus
Fuck
400
it,
right
we're gonna
now
go for it, right?
because the
Yeah.
200 we
Well,
would have
to be fair,
gained.
like,
We would have
those are my
lost.
favorite moments of D&D.
Or we did
Like, you can
gain.
play the game super carefully all the time. You can totally do that. But I feel like it loses a special bit of its luster if you don't allow yourself every now and then to just throw in the towel and be like, yeah,
inconsistencies. Yeah, I think that's it was one of the first moments where I was like, I got to be a little more inconsistent with this stuff. Otherwise, it's just going to be like kind of, for me, like it was just getting a little.
Well, it's finding those character passions.
Yeah.
You know, as much as you build an even keel character, if you decide that you have certain triggers in your personality, you know, that allows you that opportunity when the moment comes to be like, no, this is where I kind of break my usual.
Is that a new castle up to the far left?
I think that's great.
What happened to your new D&D character? Oh, he is someone's bitch.
Yeah.
Right away.
The Pact of the Bottom.
Oh, wow. Wow. A memoir.
Get the memoir.
Pact of the Bottom, a memoir. Travis.
Brian's favorite thing
that book in my mind
is coming up with play on word type things or things that sound dirty or different.
Your voice change when you speak to your patron is a strong hint that Ford may be hiding the biggest backstory secrets of all. How do you feel seeing everyone else's dirty laundry as no one seems to be even remotely aware of Ford's hidden depths?
I love seeing everyone else's dirty laundry. I love it. I feel like I may have been, I might have been a little slow in pursuing some of the answers that Ford needs for his own personal story, and I think that I might change that going forward.
I was going to say, we don't do a whole lot with him.
He also is very careful,
recently,
as we've said. I like seeing the way it's been evolving. I don't know how much his own backstory affects everybody else, but it's
sometimes people tie together. We've seen it.
Has been doing it.
Yeah.
Unintentionally,
at the most
others tie together.
Times.
Yeah.
And the fucking worst part about it is I know that as soon as I think I've got like an idea of how maybe the next moment will go, it'll change.
Yeah,
it'll totally change. There's no point in trying to adapt or predict or do any of those things because I just need to learn and consume and provoke and yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun watching everybody else do their things, and I love Liam's like shit eye because he's always like,
what's going on there? Yeah.
It's you're like, hold on for 1 second.
Just
give me a hot second. Jeez.
Yeah.
I like that.
How much fun are you having with the slow reveal of Ford's backstory?
It's great. I mean, here's the thing too. Like every story is going to have a different pace of unveiling based on the paths they choose, the choices they make, and what makes sense based on where they are geographically. You know, like with Mollymock, you know, I long before had set that he has members of whatever his history is are scattered throughout the Empire. So based on where they go, they might encounter different members of his past. And so when they went down to the Gentleman, I was like, well, yours is going to be the first to really kick off, I guess.
See, I would just start exploring everywhere then, just to find answers.
Some of it is engineered by
more
the narrative flow as I feel is necessary, and some of it is a little more based on what you guys do. But yeah, I'm with yours in particular. It's a really fun narrative to unfurl because it's a little more complicated, I think, than some of the others.
Yeah.
Well, and just I don't know if Taliesin doesn't really know what happened before then, but it's a real treat not actually knowing like a majority of my backstory. Like I got a framework that most people don't have and items. And
I get what he's saying. I was thinking the same thing.
I don't know.
How much does Molly know compared to how much he knows about his own?
Possibly would if I knew.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I said, as a dungeon master, one of the greatest gifts a player can give you is freedom in their backstory. You know,
I feel like if I did this, I don't feel like, I'm telling you flat out, I would let anybody do it. I would tell you this is it. Now you do what you will. I would not give a crap once I formulated.
Down the road, and you have the opportunity to not just invest your player more, but to surprise them.
Ooh, yeah.
You know, Taliesin did that with the Briarwoods in the last campaign. It led to a great story arc.
We talked about that the last time he was on the show. Yeah. Because
we did. We compared it to the moments.
Expected for him too, and
totally.
But look at how great that turned out.
He dropped a seed, but didn't flesh it out, and let me do the rest.
Wow.
And you know, he only, and I think it's a great rule, only write what your character is aware of.
That's a great
because
rule.
then, a great scenario is a player character having a very firm idea of how things are, and then having it be revealed that it wasn't that the entire time, or it's very different than they anticipated.
Yeah.
And it makes for good storytelling.
Yeah, it makes it super enticing too. Like
especially Matt. Knowing how good Matt is, I would be like, dude, please, I'd be honored.
I've ever seen like a full arc, much less in that area, that close to like cities and stuff like that. Like when they went in the house, I was like, shit, take the horses over by the other horses, so maybe he'll see you as he comes out the house. And he like opened the door, and they left, and he just shut it. And I was like, damn it!
Yeah.
I gotta talk to that guy. I'll get him on the way back into town, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Ford just dodged him.
Oh God, I didn't know it was in the house.
I know. That's how it works
I didn't
out.
want to be meta about it. I was like, I'll go over to the horses.
Yeah.
I missed it.
A couple of good questions about that coming up,
I'm excited for this
actually.
one to come.
Matt,
What?
Mars Milady. Mars Milady wants to know, Milady, why did you include the fight scene in the leaky tap?
I want to know more about
How did you
that, but I'll
expect the
wait
players to
because he said it's
react?
coming.
Was it supposed to just be flavor?
It was just intended to be flavor. I wanted it to. I don't want you to ever think that every place in the game that you visit is always in the same state. You know,
That's
things happen.
awesome.
And it lives and breathes.
Not for
And so
nothing.
me,
I feel
want
like
everything
fights
enter
like that would
the
happen
gentleman's
all the
lair to
time,
be
more than not.
just people sitting at tables drinking
Not-
and talking.
not-
you know?
Yeah.
Taco Tuesdays,
Yeah.
karaoke night.
Exactly. You know,
Yeah.
casual Fridays.
Sacrifice Saturdays.
So for me, I was thinking.
Do we
about events
ever
that
know
happened
what
recently that
day
had,
of
like,
the
some
week it is?
failures
Is
under
that
them,
ever
and some people
relevant?
were
Like
kind of
Monday,
put the
Tuesday,
doghouse,
Wednesday?
and
Is that
there
ever
might
a
be
thing?
tensions in there, and
Not
then
that I
I
care.
thought
I'm
these
just curious
characters
now that he
trying-
said that.
basically getting out their frustrations by fighting as a cool way to change the dynamic and show that there are things happening outside of them, and they have the opportunity if they wanted to. They could get involved. They can try and break it up. They could pick a side or fight each other as soon as they finish. That was not expecting that.
That was awesome.
But that, once again, those things I love about D&D and role-playing games is
I'm totally happy
when
they
you
fought too.
throw in
I
little bits of
was
flavor like that
in
without
on the
any
fighting.
expectations,
I
and the
mean, hey,
players
we could
grab
heal.
the threads you aren't expecting and run with it. And you're like, all right, let's see where this goes.
Honestly, if that was
Yeah.
the case, I would probably
How about
fight
that
in the
fifth
street
level
all the
and
time,
flick
like for
wounds,
fun,
though?
with random
Oh
buddies.
my God, that was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Like nothing
Driving in the
illegal.
car, she's like, I have this thing called inflict wounds. It's pretty cool. I was like, oh, I can't wait for you to bust that out on something that it's worth busting it out on.
Yeah.
Boom.
And boom. Yep.
Inflict wounds.
So good. Thought we were sparring.
Yeah.
But I guess this is one way you can try out your new abilities after leveling
Jester
on each other.
On
It's chaotic. We all know this.
Yes. Yep. Matt.
It's hot in
Lost
this room, so my
Library
shirt's
wants to know,
sticking to me.
were you expecting the friendly fight between Bo and Jester? What were your thoughts as it was happening? We kind of just...
Yeah, we just said
Yeah, I
that.
was not expecting it at all. But
Yeah.
I was excited when it happened because I love that inter-party chaos.
I mean,
Yeah.
go look at Matt's
The
reaction. Matt immediately was
Frog
like,
Lionel
"What?"
fight
Like he
was
was
definitely
surprised.
entertaining, but this one was like, oh dang.
Yeah, that was a drop down.
This is like
drop down,
a
drag out.
cleric versus a monk.
Yeah.
Well, it's great too, because
Well-
Laura's always like, she's like, I use my spells for healing so often. I want to break out some of the other ones, and she just took advantage and went for it.
Yeah.
And that's great too.
That's great.
And that's the thing too is and I'm talking to Laura about it, a little bit about it too. She doesn't feel too pigeonholed.
If you keep
it's that
seeing me
choice.
like
Either
look
you
the other way,
hold on to your spells to heal,
I must have left
or
my TV
offensively
on and
use
I
your
keep thinking
spells to
someone's
prevent
yelling.
prolonged damage.
Right.
You know, because the longer it goes, it becomes a war of attrition
That
too.
spiritual
So like,
weapon did some boom.
yeah, so like there are different ways you can take it. You know, if you front load with enough aggressive action, sometimes it could prevent enough damage where you have to heal down the road. But that's also a gamble. It's her choice. She needs to play the game that's fun for her.
That's right.
Yeah.
And if she's not having fun being a battery healer, then find a way to mix the play style to something that makes sense for you, where you can have fun. So
What an accommodating dungeon master.
Right?
what a,
My goodness.
what a
you what.
good dude.
there to have fun.
Just like you are as a friend.
No.
Not at all. Travis, Zed3141 wants to know, Ford seemed hesitant about accepting both contracts from the gentleman. Does he think it's too much for the Nine?
Yes.
Yes, that's all it was. I would
Yeah,
have
so I
said
was like,
that.
oh, we'll do one, and then we'll come back.
He's
and cycle
thinking
over
that's
there,
a
and then
lot of commitment.
Obviously, when it was like pick one or the other, and they're like, oh, we'll do both. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm totally on board and
Okay.
think we
I
should do
mean,
both. But I know why
like
he
it.
thought that
I think there's a
or felt
higher
that.
chance
I
for
that's what I
failure, which is
assumed.
always more exciting
Yeah.
and delicious. But I was only planning on doing one of those.
Hey, double
But the
scratch,
bonus
though,
made
once
it
it's
worth
over.
it. The
That's true.
fact that
Yeah,
we'll be in
that's
the
true,
good
that's true.
graces of the gentleman
And done
and we get a bonus.
intelligently, I think it's
Didn't you get
it's
some money up
manageable.
front, too? Wasn't there like
$750.
$750?
Yeah,
combined.
ton of money up
For
front.
both jobs?
I think we'll get it done relatively fast.
Yeah, yeah.
That'll buy a lot of paper and ink.
My guess is by episode 30, we'll have
sure.
wrapped up both. That's
Well,
10
let's give away some free
episodes,
shit real fast.
40 hours
Each
roughly.
week, we like to feature unique creations by you, the critters, including those epic gift-making skills.
I was going to say
It's
GIF of the week. The way he was saying it, I wasn't sure if it was GIF or art of the week.
It's not actually GIF.
Fight you.
You're fired. If anybody wants to hire Maxwell James is a local Walmart greeter. He's underqualified. Our winner for episode 19.
He's underqualified.
Was sent in by Tal'dorei, a.k.a. at We've Come to Hug. Let's take a look.
His fingers are... That was fast. In front of him, not stapled.
Not stapled.
Kind of crossed and partially stapled. Steepled. Oh, okay, the steepled.
Not stapled to him.
And then there's oh, that was actually pretty. Now I had to like repeat it in my head. Now it's better. I agree.
Language is
Good.
hard.
It is.
It was so fast. It went so fast.
Congrats to you, Tal'dorei. You have won this. How do you want to do this hoodie? Softest hoodie imaginable, alive?
Softest hoodie imaginable. How does it look on the back?
No, it's not one size.
How do you want to do this? How does it look?
If it's too big for you, it's a sleeping
Is
bag.
it like the full?
And oh yeah, if it is
I
too
like
big
it.
for you, it still looks cute though.
How do you want to do? I like
And
that.
you've won
It's
this
big enough.
Critical World pendant.
Not too big.
Yeah.
I want that barrel. I tell you guys every time. I want that strong draw barrel.
What the fuck?
That would make my day right there. That I would want like more than one. If I got one, I'd want two because then I'd put them like
submit
side by side or like
your
spaced
gifts
out.
for our weekly contest by
Submit.
emailing
We got
them
the
to
submit.
at talksmachina.com.
Submit.
Friendly reminder when
Submit.
submitting.
And whenever I look
please
down here, in case you're wondering, it's because
either
I
an
have
actual
cameras
gift, a
in my
gift
house,
link,
so
or
I
a
can
Google
keep an
Drive
eye on
link,
my
etc.,
parents
so
in
we
case
have
something's
it in
wrong.
high quality, and we're able to use it on the show.
That's why
Moving
I'm
on.
always looking here and there.
He's on the trigger.
He is. At least for the first half of the show. Matt, Kyle with an N, a.k.a. our friend Nein.
Kyle,
wants to know,
yes.
Did you have any expectations as to whether the Mighty Nein would take the Lawmaster's offer or one of the gentleman's missions? Did you have any other
That's a
story
good
hooks
question.
prepared in case they wanted to skip town altogether?
I did actually.
My
I
favorite
probably
question
had
yet.
4 or 5 different possibilities depending on where they went and asked around.
Fucking crazy.
Because I want, especially at this part of the campaign, I don't want to be guiding it too much. I want them to be able to choose their path and be kind of in charge of the
See, the
direction they
good thing
take.
is
So
I
wanted
feel
to
like if they don't go a
provide
certain way,
opportunities with
you
both
could always
the,
save that for something else.
The brass of the city, opportunities with the gentleman, opportunities with other allies in the city they may have come across.
Like, say
or
he had an
specify because down the
awesome
road if they end up coming
mission.
back and they're still
You could probably fit that in
applicable,
somewhere
maybe
else,
they can
change it up
do
a
those
little.
as well, who knows? Or just go out on their own and pick a path in the city. And I was like, all right, well, wherever they go, we'll roll with it. So yeah, I had options, but I had no expectations about it.
Yeah.
I was more playing off of their already kind of
I wonder what
mistrust
he
of
wanted them
different
to do. Is
avenues
there something he wanted
and
them to do? It's a little
seeing-
different than
seeing where they go, so.
expectating.
I found that the answer to asking Matt, did you have anything, any contingencies planned, is usually always yes. Like, I feel like you think through, you know, the avenues that the players are going to take and have at least something prepared, at least a seed or a skeleton of something.
I tried to,
prepared.
yeah, and not all of it is super fleshed out either. Some of
Yeah.
it's just, you know, annotations and small little things that I can possibly pull in if I need to. You know, this isn't like a beautiful mind scenario where I have everything ready to go. It's just having enough where I feel comfortable. That
Look
I can pull from it
at
if
Travis
players
is
go
like,
in it.
it's like a beautiful mind scenario.
It's kind of it's almost intimidating at times because it is so open sandbox that
Yeah.
you're like, at least in video games, right? Like there's a little bit of like gamers logic where you can feel like you're being led in one direction. You're like, oh, okay, but then this it's just like, where do you want to go? I'm prepared for any
Yeah.
eventuality. You're like, oh Jesus, I don't know. It's too much pressure.
And that in itself is something that I've been learning too in playing this is trying to find that balance between open choice and play, you know, and kind of narrative directions that you might want to go. Because if it's too open, sometimes players can feel lost and they don't know what to do, and it becomes less fun.
Multiple choice versus
Yeah.
fill in the blank.
Yeah, and even this campaign, I've learned a lot. There's some things I probably would like to have done differently or could have done better in the past, but you know, everything is a learning experience.
Yeah.
So as we continue, I'm finding that
The
balance.
fact, I mean, I
between,
guess you're always
you know, dropping
learning.
plot
I
threads
won't
and,
comment
you know,
there.
Interesting
I was just gonna
paths
say,
and letting
he's
you
been
guys
doing
just
this so long, but
choose a direction. So.
I've been doing the same shit for 20 years, and I
This is
still
making
find
Travis so
tricks
happy.
and
I am. I always
shortcuts
love
every
to
now and
for
then.
this. I'm like, yes. What's the new dish?
Well, continue your excitement by answering this question from Bacon Queen Vern.
Ooh.
Bacon Queen.
Is Ford relieved that he doesn't have to go back to the Menagerie Coast?
A little bit,
But I bet
kind
you,
of.
I bet you he's also.
somewhat. There's
Both
some unfinished business
I think it's
back
half
there,
and half because he
Ford
wants
doesn't
to
quite
be done with it.
know how to approach it yet. He's not sure if he's not sure if more time away will better prepare him for the things that he needs to
I think he has to fight somebody.
Or if he's missing out on opportunities to resolve what has been left unresolved with each passing.
My guess is that he owes someone something, and he's
but that's just because we haven't
afraid to go back because they're going to have to fight him and he's too powerful, or if he goes back, maybe he could fix it before it gets worse.
Throwback question for Matt from Sarah Russell.
But I feel like he's got to get leveled up and fight some crazy shit.
What did you think when Ford devoured the sword? I think that's short for devoured.
Vord.
Kidding.
I had to look that up. I had to look it up. I didn't know what Vord was.
Did you mean for him?
Sorry.
Yeah, I went
did you mean for him to take it so literally?
I didn't actually, but I didn't. It was.
You saw my reaction.
I like setting up choices in the game that are open to interpretation, especially when it comes to.
And I said that was insane for him to think to swallow
it. Lets the player choose more of the direction where it goes.
I was like, I can't believe he's swallowing a sword.
I was leaving it open. I thought in my head like that might be a possibility, but I don't know where it's going to go.
But that was the right choice.
Ways he could have taken it or completely denied it and gone a different way.
Lots of different holes he could have taken it to.
Exactly. Yeah. A lot of paths to choose.
Oh my God.
It's like an ink block test. All right.
He could have used it up his ass, basically. That's what Brian just said.
So yeah, I wasn't expecting that. I thought it was a somewhat possibility, and I was intrigued and excited that was the choice that he made.
I'll try something else next time. Okay.
Yeah. Whenever
I'm gonna try something else.
Whenever Matt
but
says,
didn't that
be a
work?
bold character choice.
I know.
You know that he's saying.
I thought it worked. I'm still to this point. I was under the impression whatever he did worked because it seemed. I have to go back and watch now because Matt's making me think it wasn't the right choice.
It made for a really cool visual and a really cool story.
The blood and all that. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. Deep throat.
I'm very curious now. I remember he woke up, he was bleeding a little from his mouth, but not like a lot. And I thought whatever he did triggered something good. I don't know. Now I'm doubting myself.
Travis, try not to be confused by this username. Yo, what's up? I'm a question. That's what this username is.
Yo,
what up? I'm a question.
Yo, what up? I'm a
They're
question.
getting quite literal now.
I love it. So good.
Does Fagord regret setting the precedent that he is now expected to deep throat his weapon every time he gets a new one? Will this affect how readily he decides to pick up new weapons in the future? You know, Ford, we have a mace of many.
That is great. That is
finding
great.
This amazing weapon, and the first thing you do is go like.
Did he set a precedent for deep-throating swords? Now, from now on, he's going to base his selection of weapons on whether he wants to deep-throat it.
Under the weight of performance expectations. So, you know.
Oh, my God.
No, listen. That was actually the first thing I asked Matt after the episode was I was like, was it open to interpretation? He goes, uh-huh. And I was like, right, so if there's like a mace, and he goes, okay.
There's one behind your shoulder there if you want to try it out.
No, I think I'm gonna let that go.
Hey, I mean, you could put one end up somewhere much easier than the other. Not that either are desirable.
And be like, can you turn your giant eye real fast?
Yeah. And then he says back, can you cough?
Can you imagine if the eye is watching and he just jams a freaking sword up his ass? The thing would be like, the deal is off, because I don't know who would think that's the thing to do, but maybe it is. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm not going to answer any more than that. They might go back. I don't know.
Yeah, no, we're totally going back. Yeah, why didn't you go? I didn't know who was in the house, and so I did the I'll take the flank, and that way if somebody bolts out the back, I can catch him on the way out. Yeah, right? But by being dead on the side, he didn't see me when he opened the front door or when he went out into the back. And so I really don't like to be meta in games. I think you're like robbing yourself of the pleasure of the frustration of going like, God damn it. Yeah. So I even gave into it a little bit, and like I said, I tried to go around to the front of the horses so that at least when he opened the door, he might see me. But I think it was one of those things where it was like you missed the opportunity just because of the circumstances of how you decided to approach that situation. Yeah. Which also means that if if who was it? It was Bo and who went in there?
It was Bo and Molly.
Bo and Molly.
Yeah.
I'm
If
so
they
happy they're
fucking
making this a
say
thing.
on the way back, oh look, there's that full orcs cottage. Was it Yasha and Molly? It was Yasha.
Yasha.
You're right.
Yeah, you're right.
If they don't say that a full-blooded orc was in that place, I can't go in there. That's like afterwards I was like, what was in the cottage? And they were like, oh, like a bunch of animal hides and shit. And
Yeah.
Well, who was in there? And they were like, oh, it's just a guy selling. I'm like, fucking bitches, say it was an orc.
That's not enough. Yeah.
So is Ford telling me that he doesn't know anything is up, but could if he had went and investigated? Is he mad? I'm guessing that Travis is just mad he couldn't further investigate, thinking what I'm thinking, that it's related. Or is Ford saying that he has a reason to believe something's in there from something he saw? I think he just thinks it's possible, and he didn't have the opportunity.
What were your thoughts
If I was
on the
Ford, I
modern
would have just
literature
changed my
chapter by
mind. But
Not
he's saying that would have
and
been
what
like
did you
cheating,
think,
I guess.
Of Jester's reaction.
I get what he's saying. It would have been cheating if he was like, you know what, guys, I changed my mind. I'm going to go in there. It would have been
kind of brilliant.
like
to
he
have
knew
something
what he shouldn't
planned
know.
like modern literature, where a squishy ass wizard goes down low and it's like, play dead, bitch.
Yeah.
Right? Super smart.
Yeah.
Loved Laura's reaction.
The Caleb move. I know what they're talking about. Caleb and Not.
Do you guys think they have a lot of names for different gags?
I think they did. They made a list of different things they developed as part of their backstory.
I feel like someone in the live stream said that.
They have a whole set of cons, which I love. And to me that was a
oh, that's right. We had we talked about it before with the father-daughter
combat approach.
What did they call that? I can't remember what they father was. It like daddy? I don't know. It's something father-daughter.
Everything has to be, whatever does the most damage. If you're creative enough and set up a scenario, sometimes it can give you a minor benefit. Sometimes it can change the course of a battle. Sometimes die roll will say one way or the other. And then sometimes your cleric doesn't know that it's part of a deal, and she starts freaking out. Amazing happenstance that she was just next in the initiative order. That was perfect. It was a perfect series of events that led to an amazing moment, and that's a crystalline, example of the magic at the table. I absolutely loved it. And once again, a player could have been like, oh, I know he's dead, or like, I'm gonna do my turn anyway, but Laura totally bought into the moment and did what she did. And
I wouldn't know that that's what's happening.
And I love that. I love that so much.
Yeah, that's continuity, and it's like, a bold character choice.
Love it. All right, I'm happy they talked about the Ford situation with the shed. Funny, I thought I was crazy that I thought anything of it. We talked about it in the live stream or the end of the episode. I talked a good deal about it.
No, how many they have? Have they showed you the list?
No, they haven't.
Okay.
I know it's there, but I almost want them to surprise me when they do it too.
Yeah. Well, they're gonna have to start sharing some of them, otherwise we'll keep ruining them.
Yeah, well, modern literature now.
Yeah.
So if you hear that.
Everyone.
Actually, we don't.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
They haven't explained it yet.
Yeah. Modern literature. We kept talking about that too.
He healed up points and was like, thanks.
Yeah.
They didn't say what it was.
Yeah. And in the live stream, people were saying
you had a party
modern
composed
literature
partially of goblins attack the Mighty Nein. Were you angling or at least hoping for some not lore drop?
Not angling for. I wanted to show one that there is diversity.
I honestly thought more of Yasha coming out. I said that too.
To be part of. Also, to give an opportunity for not to perhaps be agitated by goblin kind, because she's spoken on it, but she hasn't actively had a moment to show that type of hatred. And so,
I mean, she's definitely talked about it, but we haven't had that kind of confrontation or that kind of drop.
There are reasons why they were there.
Yeah.
None that came to light or were investigated.
Oh shit!
But who knows when that'll come out? But yeah, anyway,
there were reasons they were there, but we don't know why.
Purpose beyond just agitating Nott's hatred of other goblins.
See, instead of killing everything all the time, should we maybe be taking
anything else?
Victims and then torturing them for information? As horrible as that sounds, like maybe don't kill everything next time. Keep a goblin and torture it, even though that'd be horrible, I guess, for Not to watch.
By anything, or were they just out there?
Even though Not hates goblins, she said openly she hates goblins. I mean, we'd still be torturing her own kind.
Goodness.
But no, like
two rights don't make a wrong.
To a certain
two
extent,
wrongs don't make a right.
Everything you find in the world, you can glean information from that can help fill out the picture of things around you. Some of them are just informative. Some can play to future threads. Some of them can give you ideas of things bigger than what your current scope of interaction in the world is. So a lot of times when the investigator make history checks or want to learn, like when
Look at Travis does the greatest roll of the eyes off the screen, look away.
They continue to look into,
but he's got great faces.
Possibly.
And every time I see them now, it reminds me of Calamity.
Creatures and elements
the
about what they had
Maltese
on them, and they had a high history, possibly. They might have been able to discern where they came from.
Oh.
So it's like, those are the type of things that players can inquire on in certain moments and hopefully learn more.
Look at Travis.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, now he is doing it. Okay.
Let's give away some more free shit.
I agree with you. I agree with you as well, Travis.
Send in incredible art from moments during the show. It's time for Fan Art of the Week.
Fan Art of the Week.
This week's fan art winner was sent in by Rebecca Snowden.
Did I dial it down too low?
Banana Candy, though. Let's take a look.
Oh, yes.
Oh, damn.
Oh, shit. I mean, yeah, it's pulling him down on the sword. When she grabbed the shoulder and pulled him down on the sword. Love it.
Oh, Ashley.
It's the ogre getting pulled down on Yasha's blade.
You more than anybody, man.
And that tips
Quality.
Of her hair turning black.
Yeah,
I know,
what the
that's
fuck
cool.
is going on?
Quality.
Cool. When you guys may not know this, but I was privy to some of her character choices prior to the campaign starting online.
She talked to you about it?
A little bit. A little bit. And when she told me about that thing, I was like, oh, shit. And
I keep looking at the volume because I feel like sometimes it redlines and sometimes it doesn't look that bad.
So I was like, oh, damn, I forgot that's part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Ooh.
Like she could have done that earlier?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is she?
Honestly, I was wondering that. Was that a level 5 unlock? Or she's could... All right, so she could have done it earlier, which means I bet you the only reason she did was because she leaked it on Talks. I think that's why she did it.
From our friends at Wormwood.
Which one's that?
Coloring on there.
It's really cool. I haven't actually seen this one before. I think that's how it's pronounced. If not, people on Twitter are going to let me know.
Yeah, they will.
Make sure to check out Wormwood on Twitter at Wormwood Gaming and on their website, wormwoodgaming.com. A reminder for those submitting, please include
submit
how
all
like
over. There is a lot of submits there.
Your Twitter handle, your Tumblr, your Instagram, whatever. And a reminder that our giveaways
yeah, so Yasha, my guess, I said this, last Talks Machina, Ashley Johnson leaked that she was a fallen angel.
Sucks.
Or some sort of angel blood in her.
Personal.
I feel like that is why she used it. What are the odds? She uses it the very next episode. It's no longer a secret. Might as well.
Wants to know, how does Ford feel about hearing more about Nott's backstory?
Hearing more about it?
Yeah. Now that there was a little bit extra dump.
Oh, yes. Let me tell you how excited I was because I feel like I picked up on the thing that the entire audience knew about 2 years before I did. I got all big with my reactions and everything, and people were like, "Oh, Travis finally getting them." I'm like, "Shut up! I'll get there when I get there. We get there when we get there." No, I loved it. I was kind of wondering what her motivations were for needing so much from Caleb, and what drove her to even like find him in the first place, or where she came from before this. And I love, especially from Ford's perspective, that she doesn't feel like she belongs, or that she was not representative of what goblins are normally known for, or that she doesn't fit into that mold, right? That she feels very misrepresented by that. I love that.
That was interesting.
Yeah. So Ford, from Ford's perspective, is very curious to like know more, and I would say has a massive, renowned sense of like empathy and compassion for Nott after that.
I feel like that. I mean, that's great to know, but I feel like Travis. I feel like that question makes it seem like Travis and Nott have more of a bond than they do.
I think hers is probably true, but if
I mean, it would be great to know as a friend because they are all our friends, but I don't feel like it would directly impact Ford in any sort of way.
Wallbreaker wants to know, how have the players surprised you
like
with handling and/or coming out with their backstory, if at all?
I mean, they surprise me when they do. I never intend really to set up a scenario where they have to reveal it, though occasionally I'll drop things to kick along the mystique. So like for Caleb, when Trent Icathan came into the game, I didn't know if that was going to be a time but it could very well be a time that he reveals some
Isn't
of the
it
story.
Ikathon?
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that much.
With an O.
Yeah.
Because Caleb had been so protective up to that point. It was very much like nothing, all of it.
Yeah.
But that's how the stories work for some characters. Some characters, when they can't hold the dam back anymore, it's a complete deluge. Others, it's piecemeal.
Yeah.
Like Knott's kind
That
of
was
been.
brilliantly
Yash is
said.
definitely playing the long game with
Even
hers.
though I can't even say the word
so it's
brilliant
like,
properly.
Each character has their own pace in which they reveal things, but they've surprised me every time they decide to release a little bit, because there's never anything I'm expecting really, and I'm always excited in the moment to see how much they reveal, to see your guys' reactions, and to see how much the story is affecting them. As a dungeon master, there's no greater kind of pleasure than watching your players.
It's so great to
in
me
your world and be
that
emotionally
he's
affected by the
my
stories that
age
they've
and
wanted
his
to tell or
profession
they've
is
told together
a
with you, or you've presented
dungeon master,
them to be
and he's
part
a
of.
millionaire.
So
He's definitely
as
a
soon as
millionaire
there's quiet moments
at
where
this
each
point.
character has that little spotlight on them to tell a bit about themselves. I don't know. It's a wonderful.
Like I would love
dessert
that
for
if
me.
someone goes, "What are
It
you?"
kind of brings
and I'm
everything
like,
full
"A dungeon
circle for you of
master,"
what the
and I make
experience is,
millions
right?
of
Them
dollars
taking
doing
charge
it.
of their own creativity with the game, and
Yeah, I'm building so much that I get excited when the players get to fully dig into this, to what they've built and added to this world.
Yeah.
That's the collaboration coming to light.
Yeah.
And so it excites me tremendously.
Yeah, that's the peak of the experience, right? Travis Chrome's Thoughties wants to know.
Chrome Thoughties.
Chrome's Thoughties? I don't know, dog.
Oh yeah.
How does
that's fire.
Ford feel about
Crumbs
not under
Thoughties.
insecurity, seeing as Ford is also uncomfortable with his half-orc heritage? Does he see her as a kindred spirit?
Yeah. Yeah, very much so. There was a lot in what Knott was saying. That
I'm trying to
made
figure out what
Ford-
that could be.
And even me, I was like nodding my head, and I kept wanting to like interject and let Knott know that like Ford, felt the same as she did.
Oh,
or
is
felt
that where they're
compassion.
going?
I was
I
like,
didn't
"Shut up
think
and let her
Ford.
do her
Oh, that's right.
thing
When he
now."
filed
Yeah,
down his
just
tusks and
sit
stuff.
back for a second. There
I
wasn't
guess.
any
I mean,
need to
obviously, that's a
maybe say
connection.
more in that moment than what should have been said.
You can always talk to her later.
Yeah, exactly.
I
think
guess
it was one of
that's
those
what
things
he's
that was
making the
like,
connection with. I didn't look at it like that, but
I'll
that
get
makes
you-
sense.
we'll
How they
talk
both,
later.
because I didn't look at it like Ford is ashamed of his own kind. I think he's more
this is
ashamed.
from
I don't know. I
Long
guess it is
Ward.
very similar. But I feel like he
It's
doesn't
been
hate
bothering
his
me since the
people like
victory
she
pit.
does.
There were some well-educated casters in the audience. Could any of them tell that the Mighty Nein was using unusual magic? Bloodhunter, Warlock, Traveler's Cleric, Aasimar.
I mean, there are diverse sources of magic and abilities in the Empire. I think at that distance, nobody was paying super close attention to like, why
That's
did
a good question,
Molly throw his
honestly.
hand up and something missed an attack?
Like the Travelers?
Nobody was like
With the-
able to look at it from that minute detail.
the
to
lollipop?
Really ascertain that something strange.
Spiritual
is up.
weapon?
And it's so chaotic. I don't think anybody was interested to see who is radically different or could have even with what was being used. Because even with Jester's worship of the Traveler, still generally using divine magic that is relatively common regardless of who you worship. So yeah, and even like the glowing scimitars could be magic weapons. Who knows? Many adventurers have those.
It's
So
too
there's
hard to
nothing, I think, that
deduce.
really,
It's too hard to
exposed
deduce
them
what
in a way.
is
They never got to that
specifically
point.
what,
If
because there's so
anything
much
really
random
stood
chaos.
out, I probably would have made a mention of it, but they didn't do anything that really, I think, would have caught the attention. Not in what is supposed to be essentially a gladiatorial battle. Where everyone's
Had
trying to see
Yasha done
the crimson and the violence,
wings,
so-
that would have made a scene.
Not yet.
I feel like.
Who knows in the future if they end up.
He probably should have said
gathering
something like that,
interest based
compare
on
the
choices
two.
made, but I don't think they did anything in those moments that necessarily put up a red flag.
Interesting.
Like Yasha sprout skeleton wings,
Not
people
like,
are gonna.
not like telling Master Trent Ikathon that you're from Jorhas.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Yeah, that was a
I was not
humdinger.
expecting that.
That was when Yasha had the
You
talk.
just made yourself real interesting.
Yeah.
I was like, man, this is why you let them go and talk to dangerous people.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Himself like that.
Heck yeah.
Okay, well, we're going with this thread
This
for a
could
little
have
bit,
gone
aren't we?
a lot of different ways, and we're going that way. Okay.
I mean, I'm very curious
all right, we
to see
got
where
time
that
for a
goes.
few more
But I
here.
feel like we're not
Travis,
gonna for a
Cthulhu,
while
Gobrick.
because we're on this mission now with the gentleman.
Cthulhu Lego brick. Cthulhu Lego brick.
Nice.
There we
This
go.
font is fuckerdly. Did you watch
Fuckerdly.
the scene Liam kicked you out for? How did you feel about it in retrospect?
Yes.
Because he had encouraged you guys to go back and watch
Oh,
it.
okay. I was going to say, should they have watched it? He encouraged it.
We went out, and it was like, 5 minutes passed, and then like 10 minutes passed, and then at like the 15 or something minute mark, we like walked over to the TV, and like there were emotions going on, and they were still going.
On mute, so you guys couldn't hear what was happening.
We can't hear what happens outside.
We also were shoving pizza into our faces.
Yeah, you can just like see gesticulating. And we were like, well, this is really, really serious. And so afterwards, we're like in a text thread, we were like, because you see like reactions in social media and stuff, and there was like important information that was divulged. So we were like, what? And he was like,
I imagine every time people leave the room,
you guys
there's
have been in there
important
now
information.
because there was so much that was said, and I didn't plan on it being that way. So please go ahead and watch it so you have an idea of what's happening, because it was cool us leaving the room in a way, but also like we want to also be there to like know what we don't know.
Right. And enjoy that reveal.
That's right.
I think that's the thing too. You have. When you can trust your players enough to
I mean, at any point, Caleb could go, hey, guys, I got something to tell all you.
The narrative
and then
of
we're
the story,
good.
And
but
you
it's up
guys
to
all
Caleb.
play together and
Liam.
respect each other enough not to do that. Then it's just a choice as to realizing that maybe it's more fun for everyone at the table to be present for it and then just acknowledge their character doesn't have that knowledge.
That's right.
Plus it prevents the necessity down the road of him having to repeat verbatim all that information again to the other three, 4 players of the campaign.
Yeah, because it was just such a doozy. I was like, oh God, we're gonna have to do it all again. So I don't quite know how we'll do that. Plus, it's like,
all he's got to do is go, hey guys, I have something I need to tell you, and then tell Matt I told him everything that happened in that
you
episode.
Also want to be the player that's
done.
Like driving
We've done
the
stuff
person
like
on the
that
thing
before.
That they won't tell you, right? So until like a story element presents itself where it might trigger a natural reaction to say like, hey, we never really talked about that thing, or you don't know when those are going to come back up again. So it might be a long time before that pops back up. But
I feel like Caleb at any time could just say, guys, I got to get something off my chest. It's bothering me. Boom. Done.
Yeah. And like a lot of the show, it's experimentation. Liam asked it, and I was like, yeah, sure, let's give it a shot. And we tried it out, and while it wasn't a problem, we figured maybe just going forward.
I feel like there's one question left.
Leave, it'd be just when I request.
We got about 5 minutes, I feel like.
And thus I can keep it pretty succinct and can make sure
get all
nobody else feels
straightened up,
left out, but also information that is supposed to be only known by that player or those players. I can control that flow.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I got a little shot left.
And,
we'll have our final drinks.
Maybe not others.
Cheers.
And
Matt's secretly a crazy control freak.
Yeah,
I can't do this.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, no, seriously.
So the opposites.
Because whether it's backstory or like characters flirting, I want to be there for awkward reactions either way.
I know you do love. I know.
God.
I get bad FOMO, so I feel like my campaign is still.
We talked about FOMO in the chat, and I said, what the hell is FOMO?
I play a Revenant, and no one in my group knows that still. No, they don't watch this show. They don't give a shit. They're all.
He's getting like he did last time. Was it the last episode or the one before where he's like, I don't give a shit. Who cares? And he just ended it.
There ends up being a few whispers between my Dungeon Master and I, and they drives them nuts. But I get it, because I would be like, dude, I got FOMO, man.
It's fun to have secrets and hidden information, but in short bursts. When it's protracted like that, then it can be a little strange at the table and people feel left out. It's not as just fun universally for the group. So when you can have that trust amongst your players that you won't metagame the information as a player, then there's no reason to exclude anybody from those moments. It's more fun to be present, I think.
Yep.
And Liam picked up on that and like
one question. I feel like he's gonna say last question.
Go ahead and correct that.
He's sensitive about knowing
that everyone's having a good time.
making sure everybody's having fun and stuff. Other than that, though, not a sensitive guy at all, I found.
Yeah, just totally dead on the inside.
Dead, complete,
cold soul,
iron heart.
Yeah.
Like, hello,
he
man.
Will kick a cat.
You saw me, I just chugged that drink. I get very carbonated, my bad.
Yeah.
I try not to burp with my mouth open.
Okay, we got time for a
reference. No?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
We got time for a couple more. Matt,
a couple
Brain Blow X has a question for you.
I've had that cereal.
Now that
Brain Blow
that
X
combines two of my favorite things: brains
and blow.
and the letter X.
There you go. Good.
In light of recent reveals, what
This
are
is
your
getting
thoughts
near
on
after hours
traditionally
talk.
all evil races in D&D? Is there a line you draw as a storyteller on this aspect?
Good
question.
I dig that. That's a good. I like that.
I feel that anything is capable of deep evil, and I think anything is capable of
Good.
extreme good.
I agree.
I believe that
That's your worldview, or are you talking about D&D?
In life.
Okay.
I feel like in life as well.
far as like the living races and mortals.
Yeah.
There may even be a place where the
I
most evil
100%
entities in
agree.
the world through long-term circumstances or a perfect
We
alignment of
just
things
talked
could
about
be
this on another show.
but probably never will. And I believe that environment and whatever forges this creature's life experience will inform the moral paths they take in life. And so I think there are classically evil races in D&D that might be majority evil based on the way that they were raised or the genetic and historical past that has forged them to this day. But there may be outliers that have escaped from that. There may be
we literally just had a talk like this. I'm telling you after.
Clear black and white.
Yeah.
In my opinion. So I don't believe that all orcs are evil. Like even in the Tal'dorei campaign guide, there is the history of the orcs lends them definitely to like the brutal marauders in Tal'dorei. But while that's how most of the orcs in Tal'dorei may be, that isn't how they might be throughout the entire world. And I even mentioned like in there are some that are breaking the shackles of that historical past, and some others that there might be other mysteries in the world too.
Yeah.
Now,
I mean, the guy in the shed seemed pretty legit. I mean, everyone seemed.
I don't believe that there are particular races that are like 100% all the time.
Yeah.
Everyone you meet will be always evil. But there may be some that are more disposed towards.
Like My Little Pony, the
lifestyle
Griffins
based
were
on
all
how
douches,
they
but
were
there is
raised
good
and how they
Griffins.
were, crafted into who they are now.
So for you, evil is not a permanent characteristic.
We literally had a discussion yesterday
I
about
don't think it has to be. No.
how if you gave ultimate power to
Leaving more
children,
room for-
how
yeah.
there'd be
It's
no
much more
evil in the
realistic to me.
world.
Yeah.
So
And
I've
I'm
known
like,
some
have you seen The
really,
Good
really
Son
shitty
with
people
Elijah Wood?
who have
He's freaking
upon
evil.
confrontation and
And
discussion,
he had no reason to
actively
be.
made effort and changed their whole life.
Okay, you can just say my name. I'm fucking sitting. Jesus Christ.
And then I've met
Court order is very specific.
God.
And then I've met people that I've put a lot of energy and effort into trying to help them course correct their life, and everything could be done.
Yes.
And so yeah, like it can go either way.
I understand. Okay. Max wants us to wrap it up, which means we have time for one more question.
Yeah.
One more question.
Stick with
Matt couldn't have spoken more
Messenger
truth
Katie
in that
wants
last
to know,
question.
Great answer, Matt. Thank you.
Yes,
Travis, this one's for you. What would be worse, a shopping or a library episode?
Oh my God. I didn't think there was any hell deeper or hotter than shopping until I went to the fucking library with Caleb.
I'm not kidding you.
Holy shit.
That kind of stuff I'm into.
May
I used to spend
compliment you
hours
on your ability
just
to
going around
recite
towns and
at
games and
will
talking to
all of
people,
the shit that he was
shopping,
asking about and had the
customizing,
answers.
reading.
I didn't want any fucking of it.
In
I was like,
libraries.
oh, my
Literally, you go in a
God.
library in a
I was
game,
like,
I'd
in
read
real
every
life,
book.
I'm
I'd click on
allergic to
every
D&D
spot in
world.
the place.
No libraries.
Yep.
No.
I'm big
Libraries,
on
cats,
story
off
building,
limits for you,
lore,
buddy.
customization. I'm
I
big
think
on
there's a
it.
fine line between having a
I'm
character
down.
that is a
I'll
seeker
take
of
it.
lore
I'll take hours
and
of anything,
a
honestly.
character-
Anything they
character
do,
that
I
forces
watch.
the dungeon master to tell you everything that exists ever.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, the
And
battles
because
are better
it-
and
it
stuff.
looks
I
like
wouldn't
it gets to a point where
prefer
the other players
shopping
haven't
over
seen that
battles.
moment, so
But it's still
we're
entertaining.
discovering the
I was
balance.
riveted, man.
I love
never
it
had
because
a-
I love
every
the
word.
characters. I
But
love
if
the
you took
world. I
everything
want to
out of the
meet
game
the
that bores
shopkeepers.
Travis,
I
there'd
want to
hardly
meet
be anything left
new
except
people in the shops and the bars.
Sex. Good.
Like he gets to enjoy whatever he wants. We're playing the game how it gets played.
The attention span of an ant.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah, and there are a lot of players that love the lore drops and love the history, and there are those that don't. But that's fine. You find the balance because there are also going to be moments of the game that are more catered to you and the things that you enjoy.
I love every
and,
aspect.
vice versa. So it's
But
give
I
and take.
do not mind.
And like
You-
I said, a lot of
4
a lot
hours of
aspects this
shopping comes
campaign
up
are
next,
us
I'm
trying
in.
out new things and learning too.
Yeah.
I haven't had a character in a campaign in a long time that is actively trying to research and learn about anything they can about the world around them.
It's
There's a
Caleb.
lot of responsibility on me as a dungeon master to prep in advance, or at least be good at making shit up in the moment, and then justifying it.
I feel like Matt is the
later as
king
part
of
the
making
world,
shit up
but
at the
that's-
moment,
that's
being a
part of the-
DM.
You always
So
pull
we're
the
doing
word and be like, you learn all of these interesting and intricate details at nauseum.
At nausea. Yeah, there you go. That's your gift.
I've considered, and what I'm probably largely going to do is, if he continues to go to places to seek out deep information, is giving him kind of a Cliff's Notes overview, and maybe emailing him more detailed information later. That way he still has the information for his character to utilize, but that way I'm not dragging all of you guys through like a college lecture
Just ask him
on
to leave
stream.
the table.
Give him, yeah. Give him a flash, like a flash speed reading spell. He's
That's
done.
true.
That wouldn't hurt, right? Or
There's
encourage
25.
something like that.
25,
Yeah, there's
dude.
got to be
Yeah.
something, right?
Outer
Fast. I mean,
space.
haste wouldn't.
Hey, but that's.
Could you haste yourself and read? I mean, no,
Where
because
did
you're
you get this
rolling. I
one?
don't
The
know.
sass is strong with this one. Now,
I don't know,
most
there's
of the
gotta
show,
be
your
something to
finger
read
was covering the
faster.
S, so I thought it said the ass is strong with this one, and I said, we'll find out next time you get a sword.
The ass is wrong with. You know where I got this?
The ass. Oh, I love it.
Cabinet.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice. That means it's Max's.
I love it. The ass is strong with this one.
And that means you shouldn't have drank it. Well, that's all the time we have for tonight, folks. We're going to call poison control. Stick around for Talks Machina Foams at the Mouth.
Submit.
I would like to... He didn't hear you because I'm talking too loud.
Oh, sorry.
I would like to hashtag thank my guest, courtesy this week of @PrinsCornelius. Backstory, Stalling Man.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Oh, that's kind of
on
a
brand. Ogres smell the worst.
Backstory,
sir.
Stalling Man.
Good, right?
It's all ogre now.
And I'm your
All
host,
ogre.
Arsqueef's Soft Serve.
Oh my God, Arsqueef again. That's got to be at least the 4th or 5th time I've heard him mention since we started.
That one was too good. You are my
At least the 4th. Am I correct? Maybe 3. I don't know. Am I overreacting?
Well,
Definitely 3. Positive on that.
Yeah.
Critical Role
Possibly
Campaign
4.
2, Episode 20 airs this week. Ooh, 48 hours from now. I'll be eating Cheetos in the lobby, watching with everyone.
Love it.
Until then, and every week, please, please, please don't forget to love each other, and don't worry.
forget.
It's almost there.
He forgot once to say
Stay
that.
turnt, my friends.
Brown chicken, brown cow, brown chicken, brown cow.
Great episode of Talks Machina, guys. We got a bunch of questions that we literally talked about in the live stream yesterday for like 20 minutes about. One of which was my obsession with why Ford didn't go in the cabin, or the shed, I should say. The place where the guy had the hides and the meats and everything else. The half-orc. Now, they do clarify it a little bit. You guys explain to me, why do you just assume this, this, and that? And are you trying to tell us that you think that Ford knew something that the others didn't? Like he had an advantage. Matt Mercer whispered in his ear, go check that shed. No, that's not what I thought. I said in the live stream, I thought that something on the outside of the shed or something with the location. I don't know Ford. All I know is Ford from 20 episodes ago till now. So how do I know that Ford hasn't been through here before? And that's Ford's Uncle Bob or something like that. And Ford knows it, but we don't know it. And he's being very mysterious about it. So he sends Bo and Yasha in. We already talked about all this. Now he's saying, to clarify, he really didn't know anything. But then when he found out it was a half orc, he was like, oh shit, I want to go in that shed, but I can't just say, hey, I'm going to go in the shed now after I made a big deal out of everything, because unless they say it was a half orc, he has no reason to go back in. I mean, he said, and I respect this, Travis fully respected, because unless I'm confused, he was saying it would be cheating for me to have gone in, because I was thinking just go in and say, I want some meats, guys. I didn't know that guy sold meats. I'm going to go buy some meats. He's saying if I did that, that'd be like cheating, because I'm only saying that because now I know you guys know it's a half orc. And he said, I even tried asking, hey, what was up in that place? And no one said anything. And there's only so much he could ask before it looks like metagaming. I respect it. Travis, you gain my respect, which makes Ford go up in my ranks, because I like that. Because anybody else could have said, like, I mean, people would have questioned it, obviously. So you, even if you're that kind of player, you can't really do it on the surface, or people are going to question your credibility. But I like that he did that. But it also clarifies that even Travis has no clue what's going on in there, unless something with their conversations beyond him just being a half orc triggers something further. I think Ford just wants to investigate further at that point. So basically, it was a huge coincidence that Ford wanted to investigate the shed, and it ends up being a half orc, and he didn't go in. I mean, that all ended up being a coincidence, unless I'm mistaken. So that's great. They clarified it. Also talked about Yasha sprouting the skeleton wings, which he said she could have done at any time. So I have to assume, because Ashley slipped on one of the Talks Machinas and all the fans already knew, she probably was like, no sense in keeping this anymore. Pachong and wing sprout. Because I thought if she didn't do it because of that, it's maybe because they just leveled to 5. And maybe you can only do that at level 5 or further. But nope, Matt said she could have done it at any time. So that is why we hadn't seen it before, I'm guessing as well. Then we had Matt with the great answer that he gave as to whether or not he thought things were pure evil that are deemed evil races. And I agree wholeheartedly and thought he answered it perfectly. We literally, me and other people, just had a conversation about this the other day, how they were basically saying if we gave the ultimate power to young children before they're impressionable and become evil, then the world would be a better place. And I was like, do you ever see The Good Son? The Good Son, Elijah Wood, he had a great family. They treated him fine. Everything was great. And he turned into this psychotic lunatic. And he was a child. He was just bad. He was just evil. Some things are just evil. I agree with Matt. I feel like some things, no matter how good or pure you think they are just evil. And some things you think are horribly evil might be good and are just like, they have to just get out of that, like Not did, like Ford did. They were making comparisons with Not and Ford, but I don't feel like Ford had it as bad as Not. Not literally lived in the shit, like naked and barely clothed and eating babies. Way different, I feel, unless I'm mistaken, because I don't really know the life that Ford grew up in. But I can't imagine it was worse than Not. Even if it was equal, I can't imagine it even being equal unless he ate babies. Or I feel like that would have came up. I feel like you can't really compare the two other than that they kind of dislike their own. But Not like got a way crazier reason to dislike her people, I feel like. Unless I'm mistaken, because I don't know a whole lot about orc life. You guys tell me. I'm jumping into episode 20. You guys want to be way ahead, full unedited episodes of all the shows on the channel, seasons out of what you're seeing, hundreds of exclusives you'll only see on Patreon. The link is in front of me. Dozens of shows you'll never see on YouTube. Person of Interest, Doctor Who, Stargate. You also get the Hour Patreon exclusive for every episode of Campaign 2. Check it out. If not, comments down below, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.